Peace. Man, happy now. Now is the vibrate. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now. Right now, I want to speak about the Emerald Tablets of Jehudi, or aka Thoth, or the Kabbalion, or aka the Seven Hermetic Principles from Hermes Trismegistus. If I said that part right. But basically, I want to get into the seven universal laws. Basically, these are seven principles, aka laws, that basically, let us know how the universe operates. The universe operates in a certain way that we're not able to change. These are things that just, they're set in place. Now, I'm one to know and believe that, what we focus on grows, and maybe somewhere down the line, these universal laws could be changed by us. Maybe when we're in the highest, actually with our oversoul, or when we become a higher up God, or whatever, maybe we'll be able to change these principles. But for now, these are principles that cannot be changed, and we it's certain aspects that we have to deal with. And put it like this is knowledgeable information, because when the seven hermetic principles, or how the universe works in this manner, this allows for things to work easier for you. Because when we out here thinking that, oh man, I'm subject to a God just doing whatever to me, like I don't have no control over my life, I just gotta, and it's a balance. It's a free will universe, and it's the paradox of you kind of got like a certain fate or destiny, so to speak. But again, I spoke to that in one of my last videos. It's like being an actor. They got a certain role in this movie, and this role, or this person in this movie, this character should be played a certain way. But say, for depending on the soul that goes to play that actor or that human, it could be played out in different ways. But free will of more so too, coming from right before we came into this human body, we had more of a free will. Matter of fact, to say, all right, I'm gonna choose my parents, I'm gonna choose this path for myself, I'm gonna do, what I'm saying? So the free will mostly went into our choice before we came into our human body, and it still exists while we on our human experience, but you got to connect with your higher self in order for it to really, open up, in essence. And I say that because you do have free will, but again, there is a energy that flows a certain way that we kind of just go with, lining up with our soul purpose, in essence. So it's just a paradox of, a little bit of free will, a little bit of a little destiny, and But back to the point, the Emerald Tablets of Jehudi. Matter of fact, Jehudi, later named Thoth. Matter of fact, in Jehudi, that's all. When you break down the linguistics of it, matter of fact, I don't have my information no more, but it breaks down to like the son of David, or the son, the Jehudi, or the line of Judah, the sons of Judah, or Jehudi, Judah, that little linguistic vibe go together. So it's kind of like that line of the tribe of. Matter of fact, the tribe of Judah is like the sons of Jehudi, in essence, or of Thoth. But getting into the principles, the principle of mentalism, all is mind. Matter of fact, speaking of that, the principle of mentalism, that's where, the Law of Attraction movie, what it was, The Secret, when that first came out, basically what happened was they learned about the Kabbalion and the Emerald Tablets, and they took the law of mentalism and focused on that, and made, and expanded on that thought, called it the Law of Attraction. But that's basically what the Law of Attraction is. All is mind, all is thought. What we focus on grows, and that's what most of the Law of Attraction is about, like putting up your vision board, like seeing that house you want, that car you want, that lifestyle you want, you know, you gotta visualize it, you know, first and foremost, and also putting emotion with it, but that's dealing with the law of attraction. But just the law of mentalism. So one of the laws of the universe is that all is mind. You know, before this tablet could exist, somebody had to, you know, envision, I'm gonna take a certain thing, and you know, I'm gonna take paper from plants or whatever, and I'm gonna turn it into this sheets of paper, and I'm gonna bind it with these little metal things. I'm gonna call it a tablet. You know, like it had to be idea, you know, first and foremost, you know, and with all this thought, you know, it's also thoughts all recycled in essence. You know, it's all the things that's already existing. Matter of fact, I always use the example of Walt Disney didn't create Mickey Mouse, but Mickey Mouse was just floating in the ethers. You know, that idea, you know, and Walt Disney was the one to grab that from out of the ethers and, you know, make it something. But it's definitely like a, you know, a thought or vibration that existed beforehand, but, you know, as he came across the thought in his mind, you know, he actually manifested it into the physical. But again, all is mind. So when you know all is mind, then you can't blame God for, oh man, that's messed up for what this happened, or it's messed up, or, you know, you no longer could do the blame game like you used to when you know that all is mine. So if all is mine, everything that exists around me is because of my own thoughts, you know, in my own mind. So that's where knowing these principles, you know, help on the spiritual growth. Because if you know these principles are what is, and, you know, if you know these principles are real and know that they are set in place, then, you know, you understand, you get to maneuver better in this physical matrix, you know, and dealing with your spiritual growth as well. Next, you know, and these are not in no particular order, you know, just going through them. So the first one I spoke of was the law of the principle of mentalism, you know, all is mind. The second is my favorite one, the law of correspondence, you know, as above, so below, you know, and that's basically for everything that happens on the smallest level in the universe, in the microcosm, you know, it happens on the biggest levels in the universe, in the macrocosm. You know, if I got a torus field, then the earth has a torus field, you know, and just like I got different aspects, different cells in my body that look different, smell different, move different, you know, but they all are part of the same body. Same thing as above, so below. Same thing on earth. They got different plant species, different animal species, you know, all these different, you know, some of them walk different, look different, but it's all a part of one same body, you know. Law of correspondence, as above, so below. You know, I have chakras in the Kundalini. The earth has chakras in the Kundalini. And then you go on a bigger scale, the cell, you go on a bigger scale, like the way our universe is moving. I should say universe. The way the galaxy is moving in a way like going up a spine. You know, like how the Kundalini energy moves. You know, we moving through certain energies. Our solar system, I should say. You know, it's moving in a certain manner that mimics the Kundalini energy. You know, because the reason why we're going through this awakening, in essence, is like we're going through a part of the universal body that's causing us to awake. And when energy, say for instance, get to our third eye, like our third eye opening, so it's like we passing through the third eye of the universe, in essence, you know, as above, so below. Like you just kind of look at the aspects of what's going on with yourself, or what could go on in the cells in your body, and that, you know, that paints the picture. You know, because as above, so below too, like where I talk about like how the melanocytes, how the melanin works in the body, same way it works for the body of Earth, you know. Because think about it, as people, you know, walking on Earth, just like the melanin in the skin, we receiving, you know, the energies from the sun. You know? As a matter of fact, and of course, when I bring that up, that's not to knock the lightly melanated people, because it's also about the the neuromelanin as well, the internal melanin, and using that, because there's some people who are lightly melanated physical, but aren't strongly affected by the sun, and that means they got some activated melanin within them, but it's still like that, as above so below, it corresponds directly. So matter of fact, just like the darkness, getting closer to the center of the galaxy, our universe getting closer to the center of the galaxy. I should say our solar system. I'm sorry, because the universe, I said, is a bigger scale thing. But anyway, we're getting closer to the center of the galaxy, but also we are around that center of the galaxy. It has like this dark hole, a black hole, and it deals with this dark matter, and a lot of dark matter in space, and we just say space for lack of a better word, but a lot of dark matter is expanding outside in the macrocosm, so it's expanding on the microcosm, you know what I'm saying? Like on Earth, the dark matter, the carbon, melanin is expanding on this level, so as above, so below, because honestly, it is one of the best laws of the universe as far as like to peep out other aspects, again, that you may not be able to put your hands on, but you see that. Matter of fact, like just like my body was built off of Fibonacci sequence, the galaxy spirals. I mean, the golden mean ratio of the Fibonacci sequence, like just like my body is proportioned in that manner, the universe is proportioned in that manner. As above, so below, just like the universe has that little circular hurricane look to it, Matter of fact, things on Earth like a hurricane mimics that, or if you look at the middle of our our scalp, if some of us still have a short haircut, and you look at somewhere in that back part, you got like a little center part, and you got like a little swirl that comes out, so it, as above, so below. But matter of fact, I could spend all day on that, so I gotta move on. Next is the law of vibration. Everything moves, everything vibrates, and if everything vibrates, that also means everything gives off a sound, or to some extent, it makes noise through that vibration. Matter of fact, and when you're dealing with vibration, look up somatics. Somatics is a good thing to check out, and it shows how vibrations create certain shapes. Also look at Dr. Emoto. Got the first name, but Dr. Emoto, who did the experiments with the water and showing how vibration affects water. But everything in this universe vibrates. So when people go to ask me, like, man, how these crystals work, everything is vibrating. So these crystals are vibrating on a certain frequency, and they're vibrating to a frequency with a certain molecular structure, and with that vibration, vibration in essence give off a wave of energy and sound. So just by me having that crystal in my presence, it's resonating with my vibration, because I'm just vibrating. Like everything in the physical is just vibrating, at a certain pace, and the lower the vibration, the more solid it may seem, the higher the vibration, That's why when we in our high vibrational place, we seem like we're so light, compared to like when we eat a lot of food, or we, doing harmful things to our body. You really feel like you're in that slower, lower vibration, But everything moves and everything vibrates. Matter of fact, I discovered this looking at cells and atoms, seeing how, it's constant vibration, constant movement, So everything vibrates. And so if you know that everything vibrates, you know how to, that in essence, again, I'm gonna go back to the crystal, how a crystal would work then. If everything is vibrating and everything vibrates, that means it, in essence, too, is giving off a sound and a frequency, like the chakras vibrate at a certain, at a certain frequency. And that's why the crystals resonate with certain chakras, because just like certain sounds resonate with the certain chakras, because the sound is a vibration in essence. When you play a harmonica or any type of wind instrument, you can kind of feel the vibration of the little metal, little tones or plates within it, that's vibrating to give off that sound. But everything vibrates. So another law to recognize and know of. The next one I'm gonna speak of is the law of polarity. Everything has its opposites. Everything has its polar opposite in essence. But at the same time, opposites that are identical in nature. And so basically, it's extremes on opposite poles. Like what we're dealing with right now, is polarity, like masculine and feminine energy. They are on opposite poles, negative and positive energy on opposite poles, but they're one and the same, just different in essence the way they operate, but one and the same, like it's like two sides of one coin. So when everything has a polarity, then all right, and everything has a polarity on all levels. Just like, so say for instance, I'm vibrating on a high frequency, so there is something out in the world that's vibrating on say for instance on the lower frequency to oppose my high vibration, but like in the same manner, like an equal vibe. And I'm trying to think of something to explain it better. I don't want to slaughter it, but I think to the movie Unbreakable with what I'm trying to explain. When you had Bruce Willis was the character where he was extremely strong and powerful. Like he was able to take a lot of damage to the body, was able to like lift cars and stuff like that, and it was hard for him to be broke, like his bones, everything was like strong. So with that polarity, of course, that mean that the opposite polarity would exist. That mean that somebody on that opposite polarity exists that are easily broken and not strong, and frail and brittle. You know what I'm saying? That was Samuel L. Jackson character in that movie. But that basically was two kind of showing you that. Matter of fact, in essence, there's a lot of things into that movie, but definitely showing you that law of polarity. Like, all right, if this exists, and something on the polar opposite end exists as well. So everything having a polar opposite. If I'm trying to think, other than the negative, positive, or even polar energies within ourselves. If I'm capable of reaching a higher vibration, and being nice and hugging everybody, then the opposite of that would be that extreme. So say for instance, if I was in a little more balanced place, then my poles wouldn't be like I said, I would be in between my pole, so like how I got a pole right here, if I'm operating in the middle, that means I'm in between both poles. But say for instance, if I'm all the way on one side, I'm being extremely dark and mean or whatever, that means I'm capable of being extremely loving and caring and nice, but is that those poles exist in everything, just like how every planet has, like not only poles of a negative and positive side, literally, but also negative and positive aspects, So it's like polar opposites, like the sun energy. Oh, matter of fact, I think of trying to think before I saw the information. But it's like you can see the poles of I want to say, well, it's more so different planets. So I'm about to go within the poles of like certain aspects of the same planet, but even certain planets, different planets are opposed to each other. Where I thought about Saturn and the sun, how that energy is kind of, are polar opposites in essence. But basically everything has polarity, or has that nature of having an opposite opposite pole, identical in nature to it, but not the same, just a little difference. But, hot and cold, wet and dry, light and dark, polarities. And then next, rhythm, the principle of rhythm. Everything has cycles, a rise and fall, like the tides flows in and out, but everything has a certain rhythm to it. When we do our yogic breath, that the chi energy or that Christ energy has a certain rhythm or cycle to it. It moves from our root chakra on up, matter of fact, to the top of the skull and then to the top of the palate. That's why the Kashava Mudra is important, having that tongue at the top of the palate when you're doing your Kundalini breath, so that energy could come down. But the again, that chi energy, that Christ energy moves. The Christ energy moves with a rhythm to it. Same thing with this paradigm shift we're going through. This is a cycle. It's a constant rhythm that actually moves like the Kundalini, like the Shiva Shakti, Isis Osiris, moving Ida and Pingala, moving up the spine. So everything has a rhythm to it, In fact, we'll see how things cycle even down to where, with our lesson learning here on Earth, when we're dealing with psychedelics, which psychedelics just kind of expand or amplify what's already happened physically, with that, the lesson learning coming in cycles or in circles, with that certain rhythm to it. So everything has a certain, rhythm, and even down to like, they talk about, the tides, sometimes the tides is high, and sometimes the rhythm of the tides is low, but it definitely has a cycle or a rhythm to it, nonetheless. So again, if you know that cycles exist, then like, all right, if I'm going through this in this year, then that cycle will come back, that rhythm, will come back, And think about a rhythm. A rhythm is like a repeated pattern. Somebody got rhythm, they know the do. Like it's a certain rhythm. I know I just did whatever I can, In fact, in the camera, just to show the example of it, But like it is a certain rhythm, It's like, in essence, repeated steps or like a cycle, a ebb and flow, flows in, flows out, flows in, flows out. It's the rhythm, a pendulum swinging. Flows to the left, flows to the right, flows to the left, flows to the right, flows to the left, flows to the right. Rhythm. Everything has rhythm to it. The next principle, cause and effect. The principle of cause and effect. And some people, in essence, this is basically what karma is. Karma is not necessarily, if you do something bad gonna happen to you. Because bad and good is somebody's perception. That's why people on this planet could do things that, we may call messed up or bad, but then nothing seems to happen to them because in their conscious, they're not looking at it as something bad that they're doing or whatever the case may be. And they accept whatever effect comes with the cause. So there's people who do certain things and they accept that, all right, I got money and I mess over people, but I accept what comes back to me with that. You know what I'm saying? I accept that my family members may suffer from my bad deeds or whatever. I accept that, I accept that, the cause of eating meat, I accept the effect that comes afterwards, That's why some people eat meat and don't have a problem, because they accept that cause and effect and they know the laws of the universe on that level. It's like, and which I go back to all of them, but, again, everything has a cause and effect, and everything that has an effect has a cause, vice versa. It's basically, again, like that, almost like the law of karma in essence. But again, like a lot of people take the karma vibe and put it more into a more moralistic view, and it's not so much a moral thing. It's just cause and effect. You know, whatever you do has a certain effect to it. You know, if you're eating a lot of healthy foods, that has a certain effect that comes after that. You know, if you whatever you do, you know what I'm saying? If you just trying to think of different examples. I guess it's meant for me to not come up with that many examples and just keep it. In fact, I'm learning as I go about keeping, you know, things simple, because one of my things I'm learning is to be, you know, less verbose, like getting straight to the points within the videos, you know. But sometimes I could drift a little bit. You gotta keep it, you gotta be real, and gotta be honest about the situation. Self-assessment. But, you know, just cause and effect. So basically, for everything you do, you know, and two is like every cause too, which kind of speaks to that. Like, for everything you do, it has an equal and opposite reaction, you know. So it's also like for whatever cause you have, it'll have that equal effect to it, you know. If I happen to do videos helping people to uplift themselves, then the effect is you know, those people sending good vibes to me, or the energy, you know, going out is receiving a high vibrational, you know, like it's, I'm catching myself, y'all excuse me, trying to do too much. That's it, cause and effect. I have to break it down and more. Gender. Everything, so the principle of gender, basically, and that's the last one, that's the seventh one I'm on. Everything has masculine and feminine principles to it, you know. Like a certain element, iron may be more of a masculine element, you know. Another element, or like, say for instance, sulfur and mercury. Sulfur is more of the masculine aspect, mercury is more of the feminine aspect, you know. You got like the moon. The moon is of feminine energy, you know. But everything has a you know, the feminine and masculine energy. So everything, you know, has that gender within it. So matter of fact, like my palm chakras, one palm chakra is masculine, you know, where it pushes out energy. One palm chakra is feminine, you know, it receives energy, you know. So everything has gender in that aspect, and I'm trying to think of some more aspects. Matter of fact, look, but because even looking at, matter of fact, because honestly, the law of gender and the law of polarities almost creep into each other a little bit. You know, when I think about, you know, the opposite poles, the negative and positive, and you think about the masculine and feminine energy, which coincides with the negative and positive energies as well, or the yin and yang energies, you know. As a matter of fact, yeah, matter of fact, honestly, the law of polarity and the law of gender, you know, they're very close. If like any of these laws had to be relatives, the polarity, the law of polarity and the law of gender would definitely, you know, be brothers and sisters, so to speak, or siblings, let's just say. You know, but I'm trying to think, like even aspects like wet and dry, like one may be masculine, one may be feminine, you know. You got magnetism, you know, which is feminine, and you got electricity, which is masculine, you know. But all these different things have a masculine and feminine energy. As a matter of fact, that's dealing with, when you're dealing with your magic. As a matter of fact, that's why learning these 7 laws go into our spiritual growth and learn how to operate in this, you know, in our physical existence. Because when you're dealing with magic or Wicca or certain things, and you're trying to manifest certain things, you want to have, like, say for instance, like how a shell, certain shells may have like a feminine energy, and if I'm trying to manifest something, you know, I want to use like some fertile energy, like it's dealing with feminine energy, or like a balance of like feminine and masculine. If I'm trying to pull something to me, and put energy out, you know, but you're dealing with the masculine and feminine aspects of certain things. You know, a certain day of the week may have a masculine or feminine aspect to it. Matter of fact, you think of what I was trying to think of, which I think Mercury has both. Mercury is actually I think balanced masculine and feminine, but I'm not sure. Mercury also deals with Wednesday. I started to think about the days of the week, but again, everything has gender, you know. So everything has somewhat of that has that aspect of the masculine or feminine. Same thing with certain crystals. Certain crystals may have more of a masculine vibe, more of a feminine vibe, you know. Just all depends on the vibration. The vibration. So, as a matter of fact, to go back over the list right quick, you know, the principle of mentalism, all is mind, the law of correspondence, as above, so below. You know, what happens in the microcosm happens in the macrocosm. Everything has the law of vibration. Everything vibrates and moves. The law of or the principle of polarity. Everything has poles, basically opposites that are identical in nature. You know, everything has rhythm, basically like a cycle to it, or a rise and fall, or a tide. You know, like a paradigm shift. And then cause and effect. For every cause, you know, there's an effect, and for every effect, there was a cause that preceded it. You know, and then everything, the law of the principle of gender. Everything has a masculine and feminine aspect to it. You know, everything. You know, matter of fact, when you look at the socket in the wall that you plug something into, the actual socket would be feminine. You know, and the plug would be masculine. As above, so below. You know, so you see it like how these things coincide. So just like, you know, just like the gender, like everything having gender, and it operates like the gender. You know, like the feminine aspect is something that receives, the masculine aspect is something that, you know, that goes out or goes into that feminine energy. You know, and as above, so below. You know, just like we make our appliances and certain things of that nature, that's how we operate, and that's how the macrocosm and everything, you know, on a bigger scale operates. You know, and all is mind. If you know, wherever your thoughts and your mind goes, that's where the chi energy goes, and the, you know, the vibrations of certain things, you know, can manifest. You know, but all these principles go together. So by knowing these 7 principles, these 7 universal laws, it will help you, you know, operate a little better in the matrix. And two, it'll stop us from looking at, so say for instance, like where you feel the need to get into politics, or you feel like the way for us to grow is to, you know, we have to find some type of marketing plan or this. Like, no. If this universe works on a level where all is mind, you know, and everything vibrates, and I vibrate on a certain frequency, and the frequency that I vibrate on affects, you know, what's outside of me, you know, then I'm gonna go with, you know, with focusing on certain thoughts and visualizing certain things to change what's going on. I'm not gonna, you know, of course it takes some physical nature, but this universe, again, all is mental. So when you know these universal laws, you operate different. Or like when you know, something happens, you won't feel as like distraught or bad, because you, again, you know that, all right, all is mine. This is probably something that it's in my subconscious that I thought of, so there's no reason to get sad, you know, or negative, because, you know, I know this how the universal laws, you know, this is how things operate, you know. So when you kind of have an idea of how these things work and operate, then it helps for you on your spiritual growth. That's it. Peace. Happy now. Now's the vibrate, of course. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now. Right now is the vibrate. Remember, you know, the seven laws of the universe. You know, wait for that spiritual overstanding and spiritual awakening. Peace.